Hey everybody, it's that time of the week again. We are in the Jim Alberti Theater in Highland Park, New Jersey. And this is a special Bob Dylan's 80th birthday edition of the Poem of the Week. And that's about the time they stopped releasing singles. If you can afford to support me or this broadcast, do so at paypal.com/PayPalMe/BaldChandler. If you can be a continuing contributor, you can do so at Patreon.com. We are listening to Pete Weiss and the Weisternauts for this special Bob Dylan's 80th birthday edition of the Poem of the Week. Everybody say hey to Kimberly. Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining me. Thanks for gathering around. Tomorrow is Bob Dylan's 80th birthday. You know, I don't usually do cover poems, but I thought I would make an exception because I bring this up because nobody out there has spent more time riding shotgun with me than him. And I'm okay with that because I'm going to go out on a limb here. Okay, not very far out on a limb because I think it is pretty obvious. Bob Dylan is having not only one of the greatest musicians' careers, but the greatest musician careers of all time. It is awe-inspiring if you think about it. I mean, I'm pushing 60, and he had hits before I was born, and he had his first #1 song, and only #1 song, in 2020 at the age of 79. Who else did that? Louis Armstrong had his two biggest songs when he was in his 60s. And he, before that, changed the sound of music forever, to be sure. And I'm not going to enumerate the ways that Dylan has changed the sound of music for better, or I know many of you would think for worse. But you can't argue that he did not change it. And I get it. I do. Many people will never get past the timbre of his voice and the sometimes self-parodying harmonica. I have friends that don't know his canon at all because of it. No fault in that. I get it. For them, many years back, I made a 4 CD set of what I thought were the best Dylan cover versions of all times, like Richie Havens singing Just Like a Woman, or the Pogues singing When the Ship Comes In. Chris Smithers' Desolation Row. You ever heard that one? Willie Nelson, Senor, Tales of Yankee Power. Molly Cyrus singing Simple Twist of Fate. Johnny Winter's version of Highway 61. Nina Simone's Ballad of Hollis Brown. It was hard to boil that down to 4 CDs, and I turned on lots of naysayers with that gift. Because of his birthday, there have been lots of blogs flying around the internet, like ranking all of Dylan's studio releases. I read all of them, knowing all the while that is truly impossible. But it gives both the reader and the writer an excuse to reminisce about them. But you can't do that realistically because, well, simply, my Dylan is not your Dylan. And that's fair enough. You can't rank an album because we all have different experiences with them. I know one person's favorite album. When I was in college, I was sharing a car to Atlanta with a with a musical composition major named Aaron. He was a leather-clad, mohawked, fey hipster who was turning me on to Depeche Mode. It was the 80s. I only played one song for him. It's all right, Ma, I'm only bleeding. He was visibly shaken, blown away, slack-jawed, ashen. Years later, he thanked me again for that. There's also the time you heard it. I mean, my high school years were during the Christian period. I was a senior and Infidels came out. One of my favorites. Now, is that because I was a senior in high school when you really listen to music? Or because it is one of his best? I only know it was important to me. And I get it if you don't even know that album. The next one was Empire Burlesque. I was in college. I was so disappointed, to say the least. Tight connection to my heart, really? That is until one of the most beautiful women I had ever met, a fellow freshman, recited all the words to a song on that album called Trust Yourself. That was her Dylan, the first she had ever heard. It was hers. I hated it, but I lied to her about it. What would you do? So obviously, I am a fan. And tomorrow is his 80th birthday. And I decided to do a Dylan poem for the Poem of the Week. You know, I don't do cover poems all that often, but I had to pick one that would sum up his artistic legacy and say something about him. So I reached out to some fellow Dylan fans to pick out one for his 80th birthday. Good suggestions. My back pages, I was so much older then, I'm younger than that now. Forever Young, great song. But ironically, I can't get it out of my head because I heard it wrapped in a Pepsi Super Bowl commercial by will.i.am. I thought about Every Grain of Sand, one from the aforementioned Christian period. Which one would you pick? I know, your Dylan is not my Dylan, nor should he be, which is why I went in this direction. How can you pick one poem from that vast repertoire? Why look to the past? Why not look to the future? Why not from his latest album, Rough and Rowdy Ways? It had his first #1 song on it. He has released an important album in 7 different decades. Take that, Elvis. Take that, Beatles, Jacko, Beyonce, Madonna. So here we go, from Rough and Rowdy Ways. One that I think says a great deal about him, and also we look to the future. So if you're not as familiar with this song, go check it out. It's really great. I hope he's got another one left in him. And I hope he makes another great record in 2030. Today and tomorrow, yesterday too, the flowers are dying, like all things do. Follow me close. I'm going to Belian Bali. I'll lose my mind if you don't come with me. I fuss with my hair, and I fight blood feuds. I contain multitudes. Got a telltale heart like Mr. Poe. Got skeletons in the walls of people you know. I'll drink to the truth and the things we said. I'll drink to the man that shares your bed. I paint landscapes and I paint nudes. I contain multitudes. Red Cadillac and a black mustache. Rings on my fingers that sparkle and flash. Tell me what's next. What shall we do? Half my soul, baby, belongs to you. I relic and I frolic with all the young dudes. I contain multitudes. I'm just like Anne Frank, like Indiana Jones, like them British bad boys, the Rolling Stones. I go right to the edge. I go right to the end. I go right where all things lost are made good again. I sing the songs of experience like William Blake. I have no apologies to make. Everything's flowing all the time. I live on the boulevard of crime. I drive fast cars and I eat fast foods. I contain multitudes. pink pedal pushers, red blue jeans, all the pretty maids and all the old queens. All the old queens from all my past lives. I carry 4 pistols and 2 large knives. I'm a man of contradiction. I'm a man of many moods. I contain multitudes. You greedy old wolf, I'll show you my heart, but not all of it, only the hateful part. And I'll sell you down the river. I'll put a price on your head. What more can I tell you? I sleep with life and death in the same bed. Get lost, madam. Get up off your knee. Get your mouth away from me. I'll keep the path open. The path in my mind. And I'll see to it there's no love left behind. I'll play Beethoven's sonatas and Chopin's preludes, because I contain multitude. That is your poem of the week. This week, a special Bob Dylan's 80th birthday edition of the poem of the week. Thank you so much for gathering around. My name's Chris Chandler, and we will do this again next week.